A very warm welcome, my ladies and gentlemen. Let us continue to movie number 10. In this movie, I choose to talk about how to handle or manage heading levels for chapter 4 for a quantitative research. In movie number 9, we learn how to handle or manage heading levels for a qualitative study. So I would say, managing or organizing headings for quantitative studies is quite interesting. It's quite easy to do. Let me show you how to do this. So I have already prepared a mock, research results for a quantitative study, and I am going to import, the report writing for the quantitative study that I had already prepared here. So I find importing function or inserting function in Microsoft Word so helpful. It's so helpful. I encourage, people who work in team on a research project, to work on a separate piece and then, import the document, import the files, into one unified file or one unified final document. So it is an excellent feature in Microsoft Word. That's kind of cool indeed. So let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter 4 result. So how am I going to import? I'm going to insert. Now I am on the insert tab already. So I go to object and go to insert text from file, from file. So what I need to do is to get to the location where I save my file. I highlight it and I click on insert. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to delete this because this is a redundant. Now it's deleted. So this is my report for quantitative research, and in this movie we specifically talk about how to organize heading levels for a quantitative report. In particular, chapter 4. We already talked about chapter 3, chapter 2, and chapter 1. So what's next? We're going to talk about chapter 5 and chapter 6. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go. You can see here demographics of the respondent is considered as heading level 2, and chapter 4 results is conceptualized as heading level 1. So you are going to report, demographics of your respondents, such as age, education qualification, residency, gender, marital status, something like that. It's a good practice to have, one section for demographics profiles of your respondent, and I think it's a good way to to organize your chapter 4 by doing this. Okay, so demographics of the respondent is heading level 2, bold, font 12, Time New Roman, and left align. And then you have the description, paragraph, and then you have table because a quantitative study benefits so much from the use of visuals such as tables. and graphs, line graphs or pie charts. So, and after that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to push this up. This is another heading level. Heading level 2, perceptions of extensive reading. And then table 4.2, perception of extensive reading of business people. Sample size is 100. And then you have heading level 2, materials for extensive reading of the participant. And you start your paragraph, the paragraphs that describe the data in each table. And after the paragraph, you have table 4.3, something like that. And then you go to another heading. Heading level 2, intensity of extensive reading and best time for extensive reading, etc. You might be wondering where these headings come from. Basically, this heading, demographics of the respondents, come from perhaps section 1 of your questionnaire. So this is one way, to present, to organize your results chapter. So it could be organized in a way that follows, the sections that you have in your questionnaire. For example, so demographic of the respondent, and then followed by table. Perceptions of extensive reading could be in section 2 of your questionnaire. And so when it comes to report writing, it's the section, the section title, and you might shorten it, or you might just follow a complete section. If it's longer and more detailed, you might want to copy from the receipt instrument from the questionnaire and put it here and format it here. So perception of extensive reading can be conceptualized as a section number 2 in your instrument at the end of your research thesis, at the end of your thesis. And material for extensive reading could be conceptualized as section 3 in your questionnaire. This could be conceptualized as section 4, and this could be conceptualized as the final section in your questionnaire. So it seems to us that we do not need so many heading levels, when it comes to chapter 4 results. So as I show you here, we need only heading level 1, chapter 4 results, and heading level 2, and everything is good to go. Everything is good to go. In the previous movie number 9, we used up to 3 heading levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. As I said earlier, and I want to repeat, there is no one way or one formula for for the question of how many heading levels should I adopt in my thesis or in my research study. There is no one answer to that question. It is up to you, who can make the best decision as to how many heading levels to be integrated in your thesis. So if you feel that you only need heading level 1 and heading level 2, go ahead, please. If you feel that heading level 2 is not enough, I need to break it down into heading level 3, 1, heading level 3, heading level 3. You might have like 3 heading level 3 for example, for demographics of the respondents. For example, you remember in movie number 9, we had 3 sub-themes for heading level 2. Reasons, in other words, benefit the respondent derive from extensive reading. Okay, they improve English language in 3 ways. Okay, vocabulary, grammar, and writing competence. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, let's cut the story short. I want to read for you the report that I prepared. This is not real, okay? This is fictitious report. I made this up in order to illustrate uh, uh, the possibility of organizing heading level for your chapter 4 results. So, chapter 4 results, chapter overview. This chapter attempts to present relevant results pertinent to the research questions formulated for this study. The researcher took great care in screening for inconsistencies in the raw data, in checking data entry errors, and in treating the data with appropriate statistics for this study. Demographics of the respondents. Section 1 of the questionnaire consists of 3 questions relevant to the personal information that this study attempts to collect from the 100 participating business people, including gender, age, and educational qualification. And then I start a new paragraph. Table 4.1 below shows their demographic information. The majority of them was female. N equals 65%. Male made up the rest. The average age of the respondents was 24.67 years old. Standard deviation equals 5.53. And 9 of 10 were working full-time in the business sector. Moreover, half of them had obtained their bachelor's degree, and 4 or 10 had earned their master's as well, and doctoral degree holders were a minority. And then this is table 4.1, ladies and gentlemen. APA guideline, okay, table 4.1 in bold. And this is the title of the table. Demographics of the respondent, N equals 100. And you have variable gender, variable age, and education, and male and female, BA, MA, MED, and doctoral, the levels under each of 4, under or for each variable. And you have the sample size N, and the percentage. M represent mean, SD represents standard deviation. So everything here must be in italics. Yeah, N have to be in italic, percentage must be italicized, M must be italicized, and SD must be italicized. The reason is they are statistics, they are mathematics, they are not, English letter that we use every day. So, and this is the table. It looks very beautiful. If I control P, and it looks so beautiful. The table looks beautiful. The format looks so beautiful. See, the table is good. It's good looking, ladies and gentlemen. This is the correct format of the table. So when you print out, it's gonna be like this. You don't see, many lines for the row. This is the preview. So it gonna look clean like this on A4 paper. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to perceptions of extensive reading. I think I need to remove the spacing here. I need to remove. I'm sorry, this is not the correct format. remove spacing after the paragraph. Okay, so it's good to go. Perception of extensive reading. So this is heading level 2, ladies and gentlemen. So if you go to the table 4.2, perceptions of extensive reading of business people, n equal 100. So the perceptions in this, mock study, perceptions of extensive reading are measured by 6 items. Reading is fun. Reading it expands my general knowledge. Reading is a good time killer. Reading helps me relax. Reading makes me smart. Reading brings me happiness. And in the table, we need to, the scale that we use is strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. So we have all of them here, and we have the mean here, and the standard deviation. So it's a good practice that we must display the mean, the standard deviation, as well as the percentage. All the numbers here, ladies and gentlemen, are percentage. How can you know that? How can you know that number 10, number 12, number 18, number 50, number 0, 0, 5, 25, and 60 are not raw numbers? Why do we say they are percentage point? Yeah, because of this, ladies and gentlemen. Here, this is the extra information that we need to include. By including this, we have no problem. We are not in a trouble. If we remove this, imagine we just don't know. We just don't know what all the numbers here represent. Are they in percentage points, or are they just the sample size? Okay, the sample size, 10 people say that they strongly disagree with this statement. Reading is fun. So this is kind of cool. If I control P again, the table looks so nice. If I control P, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, it's so beautiful. Okay, when we print out, it looks like this. Again, if we print out, the format looks so good like this. Okay, the margin, left margin 1.5 inch, and the main section, okay, is 2 inches from the top, and right margin is 1 inch, and the page number is over there. So this is good. There should be a space, okay, some spacing between the paragraph and the heading level, some space, but there is no space between the heading level and the paragraph that explains it. So this is cool, so beautiful. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go to my report writing. Perception of extensive reading. Six items make up the section that attempts to find out the perceptions of the 100 business people of extensive reading. Table 4.2 below shows some surprising results. In general, the respondents viewed extensive reading in a very positive light. Up to 82.83% of the participating respondents agree with all the 6 items that measure their perceptions of extensive reading. Specifically, top 3 items that were rated the highest include item 5, reading makes me smart, mean equals 4.80, standard deviation equal 0.43, followed by item 6, reading brings me happiness, means mean equals 4.76, standard deviation equals 0.54, followed by item 2, reading expands my general knowledge, mean equal 4.52, standard deviation equals 0.67. So the report is very concise. This is one way to do it. There are multiple ways to do it, but I find this way quite justified, quite accessible by the audience, by the readers. So I love to break my paragraph into short paragraph. I honestly speaking, ladies and gentlemen, I sometimes feel a little bit unhappy when students construct one paragraph that is very long. How long? Yes, you can tell 2 pages long. Okay, that's not the correct way to do it. So break it down when you have a good reason to break it down. That's kind of cool. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with movie number 10 on organizing heading levels for a quantitative study. So I will see you again in movie 11 when we talk about organizing or managing heading levels for chapter 5 and chapter 6. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, uh, Thank you very much.